article. In the introduction, the researcher presents his or her rationale for doing the research. The research problem is the thread that ties together the methods, the results, and the discussion section, and it is designed to convince the reader of the need or the value of the study. So the introduction is the author's opportunity to kind of grab the readers and say, this is why my research is important, and this is why you should read it. The writing style of a research article reflects the principles of scientific method. It should be rational, in accordance with reason, and it should be empirical or verifiable with other references. Research articles are examples of technical writing or scientific writing. The aim of technical communication is to convey information efficiently and provide a clear understanding of the material. Technical writing or scientific writing is simple, precise, and direct. It proceeds in a logical manner, and it omits irrelevant information whenever possible. So simple, clear, and to the point. Sometimes students and clinicians may blame difficulty in reading an article to an insufficient knowledge base. But the reason you might not understand an article is because it just might not be written that well. Poor technical writing can fail to convey the meaning in a straightforward manner. Many manuscripts are sent back to their authors because the writing lacks clarity. And there are many scientific authors out there in languages, in countries where English isn't the first language. So there are research groups in China, and they're publishing in American journals. So they're transcribing their work from Mandarin or Cantonese into English. So you might have trouble understanding the article because it might not be English might not be the author's first language. A highly readable paper, readers do not have to mentally bridge gaps, make assumptions, or reread passages to decode information, or even pause to interpret what the writer has written. I know in my field, many of the articles come from Germany, so the syntax in German is different. So you might not be as familiar with the layout of a sentence. It could just take a little bit longer to understand an article, and it's not necessarily that you don't have the knowledge base to understand the article. It's that it's written in a way that you're not familiar with. Technical writing is different from other forms of writing. It is very different from creative writing. With creative writing, the author's objective is to elicit an emotional response from the reader. That is more common in arts and humanities, and that is not in our research, our scientific research. Technical writing is primarily convergent. Words are used very precisely. Ambiguity is avoided whenever possible. The sentences are to be logically constructed and unambiguous in meaning. Here's a little cheat sheet. You might come across these abbreviations in your readings. CF means compare. EG means for example. Et al. And others. And IE, that is. So if you see EG, always know that means for example. So a conductive hearing impairment, for example, otitis media. Et al. You'll see at the end of some references when there are more than 3 authors. So the first 3 authors and others and other authors. And IE is that is. Cochlear hearing loss, that is outer hair cell degeneration. Those are important to note because you'll see them in your reading, and it helps with understanding if you have those abbreviations down. In the grammar of scientific language, unlike creative writing, there's no narrator. The reader takes prominence in the research article, and the researcher is never, rarely, never really, ever referred to directly. So there's an effort to present information in an objective manner, and sentences are constructed using a passive voice. Instead of saying, I observed a greater number of head turn responses, the author may write, a greater number of head turn responses were observed, or even better, there were a greater number of head turn responses. So you could see with each example, it's getting more and more precise. You wouldn't write, you can see clearly in the table. Take out that you. You should say, it can be seen clearly in the table. You want to focus on what is observed rather than who is doing the observing. So you leave the researcher or the author out of it.